I did not wait for other people to give me the validation that I am somebody who can be taken seriously. I took myself seriously. So what I'm trying to say there is that we can't sit around and be complaining and complacent that our life isn't moving in the direction that we want it to go to when we're not taking ourselves seriously. And newsflash here, when you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else will. Hey there, gorgeous, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for gracing me with your attention and your divine energy. So today I'm going to be talking about taking yourself seriously and what it means to take yourself seriously. I'm not trying to say that you take yourself as a joke or for a joke and that you are unserious. However, what I want you to do is to prioritize yourself and your needs and also your experiences in life. So I think it's important for us to start noticing that we need to have a level of prioritization in our lives, right? So we tend to prioritize more when it comes to things that other people expect us to do, things that are, deliverables or whatever it might be with work. However, when it comes to ourselves, it's almost like, oh, I can wait, or whatever I have planned for myself, I don't have to necessarily do it today. I can do it next week. But then next week turns into a month, into a year, into a decade, and so on. But when you start to realize that what you want to attain in this lifetime, whatever that may be, and again, it doesn't have to be grand, it doesn't have to be something that is, life-changing and Nobel Prize winning type of concept or idea, whatever that might be, it also needs to be prioritized, because every time you don't prioritize your needs and what you would like to attain, whatever that may look like in your life right now, you start to have a sense of just existing and not living. And when you no longer take yourself seriously, you become content with just chugging away, clocking in, clocking out, and your life starts to lose the luster and the vibrancy that it once had before. If you think about it, when we were all kids, we had this thing where we didn't really understand what limitations were, right? You can go into a candy store and in your mind, you could just think, oh my goodness, I want that sweet. And you do not really care how you get it, but you want it. So you're super persistent and you go for it, right? And of course, that has its limitations as well, because you can't just go and grab a sweet and eat it without paying for it. But we never really thought about the how to get it. We just got it and someone else will deal with it, right? But as we grow older, we start to realize that there are parameters that are placed around us to keep us on a straight and narrow, or to do the things that are expected of us. And those parameters are good, because there's some people who, without those parameters, this world would be absolutely insane. But what I'm trying to say here is, yes, we can follow those parameters, but we can still have a childlike wonder for the things that we want to attain in life. So if you do want to attain something, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you want to get everything here and now. You could maybe just say, this is a grand picture of what I want, like the child wants that candy. However, in order for me to get that candy, I have to make a plan. And eventually what will happen is, once you take those incremental steps, you will eventually get to a point where you do attain the grand goal, but it just took you maybe a little bit longer, but you never left your dream untouched or unturned. But instead, what you did is that you realize that these are the parameters that I'm working with. How can I still take myself seriously and still pour into myself when I can, on a scheduled time, in order for me to still feel fulfilled? So on the subject of fulfillment, this is primarily why I'm making this video, because I've realized that there's a lot of us who walk around with this sense of, oh, that's just for them, that's not for me. That's just my dream life, that's my dream experience, that can never be a reality for me. And I think the danger in that is that you miss the point where it can also be you, but it just may mean taking a different path. But only if you took yourself seriously would you actually realize that that path can also be for you. But it's a case of deconstructing what they have and seeing that, okay, that's not the way that I can attain it, but maybe I can go about it in this other way, right? I've spoken about it in one of my other videos where I always talk about the topic of psychology and how much I loved it and how much I still continue to love it. And, in my downtime, I'm the kind of person that would watch documentaries about human behavior and things like that, and have certain books that kind of lean towards that more than other things. Now, had I said that in order for me to indulge in that and enjoy that, I would have to have gone and studied psychology. I would have had to gone and, gone into that professionally. I would have never gotten to a point where I can make these videos now, right? So through my lived experiences and through some shared experiences and the knowledge that I acquire from reading material, I'm then able to create these videos that hopefully resonate and help somebody out there. But that's only because I took myself seriously. I did not wait for other people to give me the validation that I am somebody who can be taken seriously. I took myself seriously. And I think that's where we kind of miss the trick, is that in anything that we want to do and attain, you're almost expecting a validation to come before you take the action. Really think about that. There's a lot of people who sit around saying, how come I don't have the money? How come I don't have the exposure? How come I don't have the opportunities? How come I, perhaps don't have the network? But really and truly, if you kind of create it for yourself, say, for example, train yourself to learn a new language and master it and then travel to the country of a new language. And then once you're there, you immerse yourself in a language and you become really good and you become an expert. Then naturally, if, say, a translator job came up, you would be the person to be picked over somebody who just started studying the language yesterday. Why? Because you've got the experience, you've got the shared experience, you've got the lived experience, and you can also bring the academic experience if you went to school to learn the language. So what I'm trying to say there is that we can't sit around and be complaining and complacent that our life isn't moving in the direction that we want it to go to when we're not taking ourselves seriously, right? And newsflash here, when you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else will. Because the reality is everyone is busy, hustling and bustling, trying to make a living, trying to survive. Some people are thriving. Let's be honest, not everyone is just, surviving. Some people are thriving. But that's just the nature of the world that we live in. So does it mean that you sit around and be bitter and be resentful that you don't have the opportunities that other people do? No. But all it means is that you just take a deep look at yourself. Take a long, deep look at yourself and try to understand that the things that you want can be attainable. And they may take some flexing here and there for them to come to fruition, but they are still attainable. But all these things only happen when you take yourself seriously, okay? And if I can just stop right there and say, we're no longer children. When you reach a certain age, you are now accountable for the actions that you take. You are now accountable also for the actions that you do not take. So all the regrets that you feel, or all the regrets that you will have going forward, especially once you've come to the understanding that I am in control of my life for the most part, that regret will feel amplified because you're in a position whereby you're now aware of the problem and you're now choosing not to fix the problem or to at least attempt to rectify the problem. So I think when I'm talking about taking yourself seriously, I know I've kind of gone all over the place with this. All I'm trying to say here is that you are deserving of a good and fruitful life. And that begins when you start to prioritize yourself. That begins when you start to put yourself front and center of your life and have a level of selfishness. And then once you've cultivated who you are, what you want to attain in this life, the experience you want to have, you will then even be in a position to pour even more out into those people that you love. And now you're able to share the selflessness because you've cater to yourself. There's a lot of people who appear to be selfless, but really and truly are very resentful because they don't feel like their needs are met. They don't feel fulfilled from within, and they don't also feel like people see them for who they are because they've been so busy being everything for everybody else and not for themselves. So I think what this video really is about, it's yes about taking yourself seriously, but also taking accountability in order to get to the life that you want. And I don't want these videos to feel like, oh my goodness, you're trying to convert us into wanting things that are bigger than us. Not at all. I have not mentioned anything that is not attainable in this video whatsoever. I've mentioned studies, I've mentioned learning a new language. Everything that you want can be attained. But what I want you to focus on is, how am I treating myself every single day in order for me to have that self-trust, in order for me to have that strong relationship with myself so that I can also take myself seriously? Yeah. Have you ever sat back and looked at people who are on the same, maybe they were born almost like the same year, same day as you, they're grew up in the same neighborhood as you, they went to the same school as you, and their life is completely opposite to yours. Yes, we don't know the finer details of their lives, but really and truly, these individuals have excelled, and in fact, they've superseded expectations. And I feel like if we really look at the stories of all the people who have gone before us, who are successful in one way or the other, whatever that may be, you will see that the commonality between most of these people is taking themselves seriously, being accountable, taking massive action, and showing up every single day. Show up every single day, even when the days that you feel like you are tired, even on the days where you feel like, okay, this dream is not coming to fruition. You show up and you ask yourself, what have I been doing? Am I still rinsing and repeating the same thing that's not working? Do I need to change gear? Do I need to change tact? Do I need to change location? Do I need to change vocation as well? Is it something that I need to do? Is there anything that I can do? Once you realize that you've got that power to make a change and you've got that power to move and shift things around, you will really start to see just how powerful you are as an individual. And once you realize how powerful you are, you will then be able to really embrace that you can take yourself seriously, that the same people that you see and you admire take themselves seriously, and you also have the opportunity to take yourself seriously. And really and truly, the thing that stands between you and where you want to be, regardless of where that is you taking yourself seriously enough to have that accountability back in you so that you can follow through and have anything that you like. So all in all, I just felt really inspired to take a moment, sit back and talk to you about taking yourself seriously, because again, nobody else will take you more seriously than you will take yourself. And again, I think the one warning here I would say is that when you don't take yourself seriously and you take yourself lightly, people who do not know any better are very likely to come and ruin your life, because they've realized that you have no boundaries, you have no limitations as to what you will do for other people to get the validation from them that you are loved, that you are liked, that you're somebody of importance, and they will milk you for what you are worth. But when you take yourself seriously, most people who have almost like character flaws that are likely to ruin your life will steer clear of you, or they will test you. And when they see that you're somebody who's serious, that who is focused on what they do, they will be very quick to run away from you and to leave you alone. So think about it as a deterrent for those people who mean you no good. And if you have that deterrent, then you're more likely to even get further in life, because you don't have people in your life that drag you back. And I think the other thing I would like to add before I kind of conclude this video is that you owe it to yourself to take yourself seriously. You really do. And I mean, I know the tone of this video is serious, and I feel like I need to admit that through the screens, because I want you to understand just how important this is. But our time here is finite. We're not here forever. And the more you keep waiting for people to do things in life, the harder things will get, the more unattainable they will get, because let's face it, we're all aging. And if we are blessed enough to see our old age, and if we're privileged enough to see our old age, we will also live to regret a lot when we look back and realize that we missed so many opportunities because we were waiting for other people to validate us in order for us to get to where we thought they can get us. So get yourself to all the places you need to get yourself to. If the doors are not open, knock the doors. If you can't knock those doors, create the doors and walk through them for yourself. Yeah. So I will leave this here. Remember to take yourself seriously, because you are absolutely worth it in every single way. And every day, remember that you are also a huge priority. Okay. So until next time, my lovelies, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you love this video and it resonated with you, leave a comment below and let me know what you learned from this video. Until next time, bye bye.